Hello, chat! Are you ready, chat? Are you ready to overreact? Okay. Oh, wait, here we go. Okay. Blackout? Yeah, it's Blackout. Dude, there's the Dead Ops Arcade 2 water that we saw. Oh. Oh, what? Oh. All right. Is this farm? Is that farm? This is like Black Ops 2. What the hell? Whoa! My boy Russ. What the hell is that? This is in Blackout? Is this Blackout?
Hostile marksman working.
Why is the Origins robot in Is that Blackout? Dude, it's this does look like Horizon. Wait, oh wait, it's the MP map you're talking about. Wait, this is Horizon. It's a Horizon Track MP map? Chaos Story? Abby, where you at? What? What's that? What is this? This is all multiplayer? Bro, they have teleporters in multiplayer now. This is what we wanted. Oh, there's my boy. Okay. Oh, okay. And they added Reaper. We all saw that coming. Okay. Oh, oh, that's what's that map? What's the map? It's Black Ops 1. Okay, that's it's Alcatraz. That was, is it Havana? Is that it? Oh my god, bro, this is a sick trailer. So they added farm. They added like the transit stuff to Blackout. That's what, because Ted is in the map. Oh, here we go.
I'm the intelligence tasked with overseeing Camp
It is Nuketown.
Broken Arrow program.
Camp Edward. That was Ultimus Dempsey. Wait.
Did you really think you could contain me?
Show them no mercy. They ain't backing down, Zach.
Bro, what?
Hello everyone, I'm John Rathis and welcome to Treyarch.
Bro, I just love it.
Get
Like
your
all this
survival
time.
gear
It's
out
like,
and your
hello,
bug out
everyone.
bags ready because tomorrow
John,
we will
I
launch
love you so
Operation
much.
Apocalypse
I love you
Z.
so much.
Zombies
This
will
is
be
the
coming
this is the
to
best.
every
I
mode
love him
of
so.
Black Ops 4. And if zombies are coming to every mode, what better way to start talking about that than with our zombies team?
Yes.
So let's start with them.
Oh my god.
This operation is an extremely exciting one for me personally because this one is all zombies.
A big part of what we do here at Treyarch.
My bad.
All the way back from World at War, BO1, BO2, BO3, and now even BO4.
Alpha Omega follows on from the 2 Aether maps that we've already seen in Black Ops 4. We got to play as the Ultimus crew in Classified, and we got to play as the Primus crew in Blood of the Dead. And those players who managed to finish those 2 maps will now realise that those 2 groups of characters have met. And this brings us up to Alpha Omega.
They're actually
where
trading.
For the first time ever, players are going to be able to play as both the Primus versions and the Ultimus versions.
Seeing these
What
two
does that
character
mean?
crews come into one space is going to drive so much of the interaction.
you choose?
How they talk to one another, how they interact with their space.
But you talk. I did not say anything. I think you have me mixed up with someone else.
And this space is just full of Easter eggs and different kind of nods to different points of the Aether story because they do have an involvement there.
So now you're back in Nuketown, but it's not the Nuketown that you've played before. This map is 400% larger than the original map. That means there's more places to explore. There's more space above ground and below ground. There's additional houses that you got to see on the block before. Now you can go in and explore those houses and see what's in there, what's going on.
Nuketown's always been a fun map in the zombie storyline because while originally it was a very small map, it had elements in it that were hinting about something much bigger.
Nuketown as a location and that facility is such a big part of the zombie storyline, specifically the Aether storyline. So much has happened there, and so much that we haven't really been able to talk about or tell that story yet.
So at Nuketown's Broken Arrow facility, you'll find that there's been some secret weapons research going on. And these weapons are prototype ray guns that were developed at Broken Arrow.
We want players to feel the
They
nostalgia of
they
coming
saved the
back
game.
to Nuketown, and we do that with those original spaces. But there's so much more to experience.
The hype is
and
back.
now that we've added new features and new mechanics, new enemy types.
A couple of them are based on the Nova 6 crawlers that you saw in Kino der Toten.
Excuse me, what?
And they are an evolution of these creatures. There is the Jolting Jack, and there's the Nova 6 bomber.
Jolting
The Jolting Jack is a creature that can teleport around, and it can fire electric bolts at you.
So I can remember playing zombies for the very first time. I remember playing through it and thinking, wow, this is really something special that we have here. And then to see it come full circle, now we have an operation in Black Ops 4 that's fully themed for zombies, and we're pulling all of this narrative and all of this lore that we've built up over multiple titles, multiple games, and multiple maps.
There's an
It is
NPC
super
on a
exciting to kind of see
multiplayer
that
map.
all come to fruition. I think players are really going to enjoy it and get excited by it.
You just heard from Craig, from Danny, from Mark, and joining us here in the studio today is our lead writer, Mr. Craig Houston.
Good morning, John.
How you doing?
I'm doing
love
good. I'm
Craig.
very excited, you know.
All
And
right.
you know what happens when I get excited?
What happened?
Good things happen in zombies. At least that's the plan.
Well, it seems like there's quite a bit going on with this
Oh, boy.
operation.
Oh, boy.
All things zombies, but
Where
within,
is Jason?
within the zombies experience itself, there's quite a bit of story to catch us up on.
Yes.
So the experience is called,
Alpha Omega, yeah.
but it blends a number of different experiences. Bring us up to speed on
Well,
what we-
yeah. It's amazing that quite a lot's happened. Quite a lot's happened so far in Black Ops 4, particularly with regards to the Aether story. We last saw our gang in two maps at launch, Blood of the Dead and Classified. I think it's probably fair to give some spoilers at this point. I'll try and keep it light. At the end of Blood of the Dead, we saw the Primus crew finally breaking out of the cycle. But more than that, we saw that Nikolai Belinsky has now assumed the mantle of leadership. Richthofen gave him the Chronorium, and so from this point on, it's Nikolai, not Richthofen, that's calling the shots. Whereas over on Classified, we finally learned that the Ultimus versions of the characters didn't actually die on the moon. But more than that, at the very end of the map, they met the Primus versions. So we had Primus and Ultimus face to face. Where are we going to go from there? Well, guess what Idiot Craig decided? Let's put them all in one map and double the narrative workload. So that's what we did.
Let's talk to Idiot Craig about
Yes.
this is
Is
whenever
it
you
only
talk
4?
about sort of the narrative workload, put it in perspective. Whenever we can take
confused.
on an experience like Blood of the Dead, like Classified, you're generally talking about how many lines of script.
From 2,500 is probably an average. We've gone up above that sometimes on maps like Revelations, and that's split between our principal characters and any kind of audio logs or guest appearances that we might have. For Alpha Omega, it's actually about 5,500 lines. So when you've got Primus and Ultimus running around together in the same map, any combination of different foursomes, you know, it's fun to see how they react to each other and how they reconcile their various differences. So, you know, beyond just all their dialogue, this is also one of the biggest maps we've ever done in terms of narrative Easter eggs. Let me just say, there's a lot of ancillary characters that you have met in the past, or if you've not met them, you've at least heard about them, and they are going to pop up in various ways
Cornelius
throughout
Purnell.
the map.
Well, whenever we talk about the map,
Purnell.
which we're going to get into shortly, I mean, we're talking about an experience that, so from a narrative perspective, what,
Huge.
500 lines?
Huge.
And the map itself is several 100% larger than.
Well, I mean, that's the big thing. I mean,
We'll get to it.
Do I start taking a look? Should we take a look?
Well, so you know what? Probably. Let's jump into it.
Well, I think the first thing is that, you know, there's been a lot of rumours for a while that we were going to be going to Nuketown, but as always, things are never as simple as they appear.
Why are their eyes white?
The sign that you'll see when you arrive identifies it as Camp Edward, which, you know, isn't quite what people thought Nuketown was necessarily, because what it turns out to be is that it is a front for something else, something much, much larger. This is actually a facility owned and operated by a group known as Broken Arrow. And once you start scratching the surface, you're going to realize that, you know, the Nuketown that you think you know really is, I was going to say literally the tip of the iceberg, but that's not true. It's figuratively the tip of the iceberg. I think the overall map is many times larger than the original. I can't remember the exact proportion, so I'll just say if it was like that, it's more like that.
We've got a very complicated relationship with icebergs this year.
Well, we don't make stories. That's the chaos story, so just keep that to the side.
General,
just keep that to the side.
Fair.
He's like, keep it separate.
Okay, so talk to us a little bit about the implications of having the Primus and Ultimus crews working together for the first time. How does that begin shaping our experience here?
I think everyone knows that, you know, the main difference, the Primus crew got to go on a very kind of emotional journey, searching for their souls and trying to save them and everything. Whereas Ultimus were a bit more goofy, stumbling around, having a bit of a laugh and not caring too much about the fate of the universe. Now under Nikolai's leadership, you know, obviously he's going to first of all find out that things weren't quite as simple as he thought, and, you know, Richterman always had reasons for keeping secrets to himself. Nikolai's going to struggle a little bit with that, because once you've read that chronorium and you know what's coming, should you tell people, or do you try and just nudge them along? Or did the book say that you never told them? It's a real can of worms, but like I say, getting the different versions of the characters in the same map, you really see the contrast, you know. Richterman, Ultimus Richterman, insane. Utterly insane. I mean, Primus is only marginally more stable, but he's got kind of a mellower soul. Drunk Nikolai bumbling around looking for his vodka and going on about his ex-wives. As I say, it's kind of a reminder of how far the characters have come, and
this is so cool. Seeing
what they do and don't recognise in each other is part of the fun.
Well, and you get to play as both.
Yes.
Well, tell us, was that a bit of a reunion of sorts? Was it a walk down memory lane from a narrative standpoint in terms of like how those personalities?
In a weird way, it's funny. I remember saying this when we did Classified, because we'd spent so long with Primus since Origins forward, really, and we tried to make them more realistic and give them a lot more emotional resonance, which I definitely think we achieved. You know, if you look at the Black Ops 3 season and all those death scenes, it was nice to see people crying as much as I actually cried when I wrote some of them, because it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny. I'm sorry.
It wasn't, but no, it's no laughing matter. You know, and that emotional journey that we'd taken them on, that was hugely important to me. So when we first decided to go back to Ultimus, a little part of me was a bit, they weren't as much fun, they didn't have as much. But once I started writing the jokes again and making myself laugh a lot, and hopefully other people, it's no good if it's just me that laughs, but you know, so initially there was a bit of a resistance from me to bring back Ultimus, because I thought we'd progress the characters.
Yeah.
But doing Classified and then doing this where we get them together, it's, you know, it's the best of both worlds. It really
They're
is.
showing so much, man. I'm so happy.
Here we are. We find ourselves back in Nuketown.
Yep.
Take us on a stroll, Greg.
Take us on a stroll. Well, look, there's a bus. It's not the bus. It's not going anywhere. That's not to say that Ted isn't necessarily going to appear somewhere down the line. But, you know, he's a robot. He's kind of difficult to get rid of. So like I was saying earlier, a lot of these areas are going to be familiar to people. Obviously with a slight twist. There's going to be lots of, like every time we do a map, you know, it gets its own sheen on it. But
that's only in Blackout. They have it in this map.
Like I said earlier, literally just represents a small fraction of actually what's there to be discovered. So, you know, we let people start off thinking they know what they're getting into, and then as they get deeper into the game, we obviously pull the rug out from under them, and suddenly they're in a state of panic, not knowing what's coming next.
Why are their eyes white?
That's the way we do things.
Talk to me a little bit about sort of the lighting and the environment. To me, I mean, it's a beautiful looking map.
It is, and in fact, that's one of the things that the characters will talk quite a lot about. Is, in fact, I think it's Ultimus Nikolai. It says, "Who are billionaires who live in such luxury?" So they all have their impressions of what's going on in the map. But as you see now, we're starting to go into some of the lower levels, into the Broken Arrow facility, where like all our good scientific research groups, they've been doing all sorts of things that they maybe shouldn't have been doing, or definitely had consequences that they may not have expected.
As we find ourselves down here in the bunker, talk to us a little bit about kind of the size of the experience, because I'm seeing things in Nuketown that
There's electric
that I haven't
dogs.
seen before.
Yeah, it's
What the hell?
of a magnitude
Quite literally. What
of
the hell?
4, I think is the right way to say it. 4 times bigger. What you used to see was a quarter of what's really there now. I'm just approaching statistics in different ways here, and none of them are very well, but yeah, it's at least 4 times the size of what Nuketown originally was.
What were some of your favorite elements to build back into this experience?
Well, I mean, the biggest one for me really was narrative, to kind of get into the narrative history
I
of
see the new
building.
perk,
I mean,
guys, but I don't know what it
remember
does.
people asking me years and years ago, why was Marlton in the bunker? So,
Oh!
you know, that's something that we're going to get to revisit a little bit, shall we say. So I
Bro,
think,
they're
you know,
going. They're saying everything.
even beyond what people actually knew of Nuketown, there was just a lot of very significant narrative threads that we knew that we had to come back to.
Where's my boy
We
Marlton?
explored a little bit of Broken Arrow in the comic book series we did a couple of years ago with the Victus crew. We saw some of Russman's history.
Where
to
the
that.
hell is Victus? Are
But
they alive?
This is much more of a deep dive, and you will get to see some
Where
of the
are
things
they?
they are responsible for, including some twists on traditional enemies and traditional weapons. I think you saw some lightning hounds running around there who are a little bit of a variation on the usual
Yeah.
hellhounds.
Just a note for viewers. This
Yes.
is a sort of pre-release build. There's some temp audio in there, so
Yeah, it might be some of mine. So if you hear a Scottish person or a robot yelling out, that's just because this build is before we had implemented in the actual actors' dialogue. And
Where-
that's another thing. God, they had fun doing both characters.
but that'll sound a little different tomorrow when it's out.
Yes.
Okay. So prior to just over the last couple of days, we've seen the Ray Gun Mark II.
Oh yeah, the Ray Gun
teased
Mark II.
on our social channels. Talk to us about the Ray Gun Mark II.
Well, ray guns have got a long history in zombies, and you know, people always like to see the ray gun coming back. And this time, the Ray Gun Mark II is coming back with a very special twist. I don't want to explain exactly how it functions, but let's just say you can modify it or put it together in a number of different ways that significantly alter its functionality. So it
That's
kind of
amazing.
becomes a customize your own ray gun the way you like kind of ray gun. Good old Ray.
Oh.
So the inventiveness of the ray gun doesn't end there. If I'm not mistaken, there's a new perk that's being introduced.
Okay, here we go.
Yes. Blood Wolf Bite. Sounds good, doesn't it?
I like it.
It sounds good already. Well, this one I particularly like because what it does is when you're doing a lot of damage and killing a lot of zombies and you have this perk activated,
Yeah.
it will spawn a wolf. A wolf known as Luna, who will then fight alongside you, chomping up the zombies.
Luna!
Come on, dogs eating zombies? That's good. We've usually the
Ascension!
hellhounds, or in this map, the lightning hounds coming at us. It's nice to have a dog on our side again.
Yeah.
We've not done that for a little while. And the last one, I think, was the ghost dog in Der Eisendrache. At least this one's alive.
All right.
It's an
so
actual space
of
dog, and it's called
looking
Luna,
ahead.
which is the words on
right
Ascension.
over the top a little bit, take down the road with the Aether story and the
F
next
this.
DLC. Where does it all take us?
It takes me back to my office where I continue writing it. No, it is. It's going to take us. We're so close to the end now. We're so close to wrapping up the story threads that we've been having for a long time. A lot of them are going to come together and
don't end it.
coalesce within
don't
Alpha
end it.
Omega. But there are other things within this map that are going to lead us directly into the next operation in our DLC 4. And there will be a lot of answers. There will be a lot of pain. There will be a lot of joy and maybe a few tears as well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to wrapping it all up.
All right.
Craig, no.
So let's just
No,
sort
please
of
don't.
let's recap everything
Please don't.
here. Make
Okay.
sure that we've covered it all.
Actually, don't end it,
huge
please.
Narrative.
Yep.
Larger
Biggest
map,
ever.
Larger map.
the most hype we've ever had, Craig. Please don't.
Crimson Ultimate's
Yes.
crew. Brand new experience. Ray Gun Mark II, new perk. What are we leaving out?
The secret things that we're not going to talk about.
The secret things.
Because there's always, you know, back to your iceberg metaphor again.
Yeah.
What we've said today, it's a bigger bit of iceberg, but it's still not the entirety of the iceberg. There's, as I say, there's a bunch of ancillary and or guest characters, both allies and enemies, that are going to pop up as you progressed in the main quest. So lots to see.
I love
Craig,
that.
thank you very
I
much for
love
joining
that.
us. Really
I'm so glad you
appreciate
said
it.
that.
Welcome.
In honor of tomorrow's release of Alpha Omega, we brought along a little bit of gameplay. So here's a sneak peek at what is to come tomorrow.
What is the next phase of our journey?
I wish I could forewarn you of what is to come and what is at stake. Show them no mercy!
Oh my god. What is
There
that?
is more to this facility than meets the eye.
Primary systems offline.
Galva Knuckles return! Dual wielding!
Did you really think you could contain me?
Oh!
Welcome back.
Oh!
Zombies continues to invade every other mode of the game, including multiplayer. And here to tell us what is in store for all things multiplayer and Operation Fire, we have Tony Flame, Miles Leslie. Gentlemen, welcome to the stream.
Thanks for having us. Awesome to be here, John. Thanks for having us.
All right, let's jump right into it. Let's get into kind of an overview for launch week. Let's start with news around.
Stop
Reaper
overreacting, chat!
Reaper is coming into the multiplayer game. We're super excited.
They just
for that.
showed dual-wielding ray guns and Galvanux.
It's a big machine gun, as you might expect. It's a little different than you've seen it before. It's Black Ops 4 is a prequel. It's in a different time period than Black Ops 3.
What's in there, dude? What's in there? Is it the Avogadro? No.
Phase of our
Hold on.
journey.
I gotta pause it here because there's like a.
I wish
There's
I
like
could
a weird
forewarn you
robot.
of what is to come and what is at stake.
What the frick? The frick was that?
Is at stake.
What the frick is that?
You of what is to come and what is at stake.
Whoa! Who? Who? Excuse me, what? Oh! Oh! Ted 2? Ted 2? Bro, look at the Galva Knuckles, dude! Oh my god! Oh! Bro. Bro! Stingray? Oh, I'm dumb. Never mind, lads. Bro. This is like the Garag Crovey tunnel. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know the Garag Crovey tunnel? When you're running from double tap back to the main? Dude, this is crazy. Who the frick is that? Is that Purnell? I'm guessing it's Purnell. Doesn't look like Monty. But Monty's the ending. If y'all know who Purnell is, there's a lot of classified stuff having to do with him. He's also a big part of the original storyline back in the day. We all know.
This is actually, it's pretty different for MP because we haven't done a German map. Zombies has done this before with Der Reisendrock and some of the other stuff they've done. Is this map actually relates one-to-one to Der Reisendrock? Is if you look up here, we've actually got the castle Der Reisendrock. Is this whole map takes place in the shadow, which is why it's called the shadow of Der Reisendrock. So we've kind of planed them together in that sense. And so you get to play in this little Austrian Alps town, but the main thing is that the ginormous robot that sort of has fallen victim across the entire map, which is pretty cool. So you get these really
it's from
epic
the intro when the robot falls
in his guts, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Through and it's totally smashed. This church.
Is the
and what's
coolest
really cool
thing
is
I've
that the
ever
element
seen.
115 has got these supernatural properties where things are
Why
not
don't they
as
do this
seem,
more
so
often?
things are floating. He's leaking his guts everywhere, and you get some really cool gameplay.
Bro.
You come out here, and what this is really cool is this is where his head's fallen. Naturally, because it fell off of the church when he smashed down. But it's really cool. Is this is like a really awesome power position Overwatch here. So you get to look through his visor and feel like you're the robot, you know, which is something really cool. And then you get little green interact button.
Why
you see his finger over there?
Why don't they do this more, dude? What people love is seeing the story everyone likes, which is Zombies. Zombies has a huge hardcore fan base. And when you do that and you reference it in multiplayer, it's so cool, man. Like, it's so much more interesting. It is so much more interesting.
You can time it because you can see the shadow of enemy player.
This makes me want to play MP, and it collides the two communities. You're having MP guys checking it out because it looks really cool, and then they might want to play Zombies. They might want to go check out the Reisendrock. And you have Zombies guys wanting to play MP because they want to check this out. It brings everybody together. Why don't we do this more, man? Sorry, I'm breaking my mic. This is I'm overreacting. Like, seriously though. I'm yelling in a good way. I'm not yelling because I'm mad. I'm yelling in a good way because this is amazing. This is so sick, Treyarch. Do this more. This is so
press
cool.
Press this bad boy, and that finger's gonna smash enemies.
You can have traps.
Pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So this is pretty cool. It's a cool little thing to kind of block them and also kind of smash them down if you can. But this map is very different, right? It does take place at night. We're trying to mirror, again, what was in Der Reisendrock and offer some new and interesting things.
This is so cool.
They got this train supernatural vibe. And
Bro,
where
it's
we
from
are
the
at
Chaos
is at the
Story.
Museum of Unnatural History. And
That looks sick.
we really love this map because what we've started to do was grab bits and pieces of zombie history and do a little twist on it. So if we go to the Crater of Hell exhibit, this will actually take us to the moon. And so we've got this little cool diorama of, if zombie players would know, this is the sort of the moon stuff. And you'd come out here and you get to play in the actual moon. So what we've really done is this museum has started to buy these artifacts around the world. They don't actually know that they're zombified, and so they happen to buy naturally, and they buy one, and unfortunately, it's still alive, and it unleashes.
And it connects, and it's like they couldn't connect the chaos in the Aether story before, but they can in MP because it doesn't matter because it's just all about having fun. So there's like chaos, like the blight stuff is everywhere. This
chaos
is sick.
across the entire map, turning people into zombies, and now here we are in the aftermath. And then some of the people have turned into zombies. This is like an astronaut that was showing people the moon area. Now he's a zombie and he's stuck up there. So it's like little cool vignettes around that we really get to embellish. And then it's really cool visual contrast and gameplay contrast where you step into this environment and you feel like you're on the moon and you get this really high to low differentiation. Get in the crater because we've got some like hard points here and Dom stuff, which is really super unique.
That's super
And then you
cool.
step out and you're into a whole new world. Or hey, let's go to the bus to the beyond, which is transit. Right. So now we're at the diner. And, we got our fake people eating in there. Again, little zombie over there eating, stuck in there. But it's really cool because this is all about getting into that bus. And you've never actually played this MP.
Let's see what Milo did.
3, 2, 1, begin. Okay. Alright, this is Blackout. So the River of Blood is Blackout.
Where is he, by the way?
That's fine. It looks actually really cool. Wow. Okay. Oh. Wow. Okay, this actually looks really cool. Operation Apocalypse, or Z Apocalypse, I guess. The undead. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Wait. Wait.
It's the same thing I did. I was like, ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Camp Edward.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh my god. Dude, what?
Oh! Oh!
My god. I feel like I've just had a religious experience.
Oh! Yo, God! Yo, God? No more yo kiss. Yo, God?
Just happened.